what it is, but I get so nervous before I sit down to record anything for you guys. I have found myself putting off recording the meditations for this month and the energy reading for this month because I'm just nervous. Like, it feels like such a huge responsibility, and I want to serve you guys from a place of just pure love and light. And I feel like it's such a huge assignment that I take very seriously. And I look forward to it, but also kind of put it off until I can't put it off any longer because I want to get it right. So, um, it's funny, I've seen these memes the last few days about how it's still January, and I'm like, fuck, it is still January. It really was such a long month, such a good month, a very busy month. And when people ask me what I've been up to, I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Laundry, dishes, playing in the snow, making as much time as I can to see all of the babies in my life. I've really tried to visit my parents and my grandma, and I don't know, just busy lifing, and I'm happy. I'm enjoying it. I'm have spent the entirety of the month setting goals, and not just like setting goals, really thinking about what it is I want my life to look like and breaking the year up into quarters, which I've never done before. But I have been working on like a slow burn as far as how I live my life, instead of having an idea and immediately putting all of my energy into making this happen without even considering whether or not it's aligned for my life and if I have time for it. And then all the other things I've been working on fall to the wayside, and it just becomes a clusterfuck. And so I've been focusing on one project at a time, getting that going. And every time I have an idea or insight, write it down, put it in my notes. And then when I get the original project on the ground and it's kind of free flowing and I have more time, then I revisit and figure out which of the next ideas I want to implement, if I want to implement any of them at all. And so I've kind of been applying the same practice to my New Year's goals, and I'm loving it. I mean, I feel like, because I'm not putting such an overwhelming pressure on myself to perform or change major things, that I'm getting a lot of shit done, and it's only the 1st of February. So it's been fun. It's kind of like, what would make my life easier? What would help me reach long term goals? What do I want my life to look like? And then figuring out how the day to day things can actually, like the changes I can implement in my daily, how can they actually feed the long term goals and like make my life easier and better? So I feel good. I feel really good and really excited about where this year is going. Um, Before we dive into the energetics, let's talk about what the community has in store this month. Um, February 9th is Sunday service. We are learning sun salutations, which is, I feel like, my favorite gift that has come from yoga, like my favorite yoga practice. It's so beautiful. It's a full body flow. It can be used as a warm up, it can be used as a practice. I feel like, especially if you're new to yoga, really learning sun salutations will set you up for success for any yoga class that you participate in. I feel like ever. It gives you a really good foundation. And it can be modified in so many ways to be accessible to you and make it any kind of practice that you need it to be. That is what we're learning together at Sunday service. I've got a great playlist for us, since it is Super Bowl Sunday. For me, it's a big deal because Kendrick Lamar is performing and Taylor Swift's going to be there. So I've got the best jams for us. And then I am doing one-on-one sessions at Christina's Therapeutic Touch on Friday, February 21st. I have 4 sessions available for whoever wants them. You can text me, you can message me, you can DM me. if you would like one of those spots. And then February 26th is Holding Space, our virtual meetup. It is 2 days before we board a plane to Asia, and I cannot wait to be together before this trip. So RSVP, check out the Patreon where I post weekly reads and updates, see what's up, sign up. As of February 15th, our Sunday service tier on Patreon is going to go up to $44 a month. Right now it's $33. This is a great deal. You get access to Sunday service and you get access to Holding Space as well as all of the Patreon content for only $33 a month. Holding Space is $33 individually. Sunday service is $44 individually. So it is a great investment. As of February 15th, that Sunday service tier will transition from $33 a month to $44 a month. The 111 tier on Patreon only has 2 spaces left. The 111 tier includes access to Sunday service, Holding Space, and also includes one-on-one session a month, whether that's virtually or in person at Christina's Therapeutic Touch, and that is $111. So 2 spaces left. Get them while you can. They're on Patreon. Also, we have a full moon, February 12th in Leo, a new moon, February 27th in Pisces. I like to have that on my calendar because when shit gets weird, I check it and realize that shit is going on with the moon. I really like the notes that I have on this being Aquarius season and a full moon in Leo. It's fire and it's air, which is this very creative energy. It can also be an energy of combustion if you're not being really mindful and careful. And then the new moon in Pisces is very deep, very sweet, very sensitive and intuitive and connected to the subtle realm. So I feel like we have such a gift as we close out the zodiac year of this full and new moon. And we'll dive deeper into that over on Patreon. So let's dive into the vibes. I feel every time I connect with the energy of the Aquarius season of February, this like fairy dust everywhere. I just see this sprinkle of this misty, sparkly haze. And the word that comes to mind is clarity. I feel it so deeply for us in that 6th chakra, third eye space. For anyone who has been feeling a sense of unease, of stickiness, of fogginess in any area of their life, if you are intentional, I feel as if this month brings clarity. Like things that you have not been able to see coming to the forefront of your mind. I also feel that for those of us who, really for everyone, every single one of us has something that we're holding on to that's hard to let go of, that doesn't serve us anymore. And sometimes we feel as if it's something that's very integral to who we are and how we show up and like we really need it, when in reality that one thing, whether it's a story we tell ourselves or a thought process that we have or a habit that we have, is keeping us from reaching the goals that we have in mind. And this month will bring awareness to that which we are holding on too tightly to. There is very much so an energy of surrender and letting the fuck go. Like just letting it go, releasing control, allowing ourselves to be present. And we talk about this over on the Patreon, but anytime that I have sat and connected with this, I see that we are standing in this space of darkness and we can see through this portal. And on the other side of this portal is the life that we want so badly, the thing that we want so badly. And it's all encompassing. Like it is an entire shift in our life and how we show up. And what I feel is that we're already, like, if we let ourselves, we are already in that. And it is an illusion that it is not part of us and that we are not connected to that life. Like, we can fully be in and embody that life. And the thing that keeps us from recognizing that is holding on to the past or holding on to our unworthiness. And wherever you are, that is fucking okay. It really is. Another theme that's very loud is the fact that we're right on time, that we are learning what we are meant to learn right now. We are in the situations that we are in because there is medicine here for us, or something to learn, or something to grow through. And so I think a huge issue a lot of us have is just beating ourselves up for not being where we feel we should be instead of being present with where we are. And that is part of the medicine of this season. And to just stop looking so far ahead, to stop wishing for things to be different. It's okay to want something different for yourself, but it's also our responsibility to ask ourselves, what of our daily habits or mindset are preventing us from actually living and embodying that? I have these aha moments regularly in my life. And when I really want something, I start actively living what it is that I want. Like, even this podcast, I knew that it was something I wanted to be a part of my reality. I knew I wanted to step back from behind the chair in the salon and start really living my dream of being a teacher and being in this spiritual space all the time. And I kept grasping for it and grasping for it and grasping for it and wondering how I could ever fucking get there, until one day I was like, I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to buy the mics, which buying the mics for this was a total accident. I just was trying to get an estimate on shipping. And the next thing I saw, I truly don't know how the fuck this happened, because I'm not one to spend money very lightly. And like, I just wanted to see how much shipping it would be so I could budget for when I could actually get these mics. And the next screen just said, your order's been placed. Here's your confirmation and we'll send you an email. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I guess this is like meant to be. I didn't want to deal with it and cancel it. And I was kind of excited about them. And here we are. Like, when you want something, you just fucking do it. And I'm not saying to just quit your job. I mean, maybe I am. I don't fucking know. This is for you to determine. If you were putting all your faith in me and this podcast, you are giving me entirely too much fucking power, and you need to take your power back and get right with yourself and decide, like, do I quit the fucking job? Do I cut back and actually start doing the dream thing? If you want the perfect relationship and you're single right now and you are feeling like you're ready to manifest your partner, how are you showing the universe and taking some kind of action? I'm not saying become unhinged. I'm just saying to move from the freeze state into the movement state so that energy can get flowing. You can set your intention and start calling into you the things that are yours, that are already yours. I keep getting this visual of like a big picture earth situation, and I feel like so often when we zoom out, we think that we're just these individual beings and that our actions and thoughts don't affect the people around us. And what I see when I zoom out is how we are this energetic soup, and we are so deeply connected. Like, when I move like, I just see myself like waving my arm, and the energy that comes from my aura and my body creating this ripple effect that affects everyone. And our thoughts have energy, our words have energy, our actions have energy, our prayers have energy. And so I keep thinking about how everything that I do affects the greater good of everyone. Or every day where I'm having a bad day and I'm mean and cold and unkind, like how that affects the greater good of everyone, and how we are here to serve and live our best fucking life. And that doesn't mean it's always easy. It just means that we are like, setting an intention to uplift everyone and to share love and to send love. And us living in misery isn't helping that. If we want to create peace and lasting change, especially with there being so many different narratives floating around about the state of the world, it starts at home, and it even goes deeper than that. It starts within ourselves. So this month, asking yourself, do I feel right with me? Do I feel right with my soul? Do I even feel connected to my essence? And if the answer is no, that's where you start. How can I take 5 minutes every day to connect with my essence? That's fucking it. That's all you have to do. And then you connect with your essence and you're like, I like this. What does my essence need? How will I feel better about my interactions with other people? And it just kind of snowballs into this thing until you're showing up as this bright light every day, creating change just by smiling at someone on the street who didn't realize that they needed the warmth of someone else's smile in that moment. And it just creates this ripple effect. How can we be generous? How can we be vulnerable? How can we be honest? How can we act with integrity? How can we have the courage to face our fears? How can we know better and do better in each moment? Where are we distracted? Where are we staying stuck? A huge practice that has changed truly my perspective of the world, especially when it comes to consumerism, is working where you are with what you have. When I decided to take a step back from behind the chair, to quit my job at the apothecary, and to just be working like 2 days in the salon and really dedicating my time to teaching yoga and energy work, I had to learn to work where I was with what I have, especially when it came to money and resources. And let me tell you something. You have so much more than you could ever imagine you needed. It doesn't mean that there are not things that we do not have access to that we don't have right now, but maybe you're not meant to have that thing at this moment. You have what you need right now to take the next steps forward, period. Working where you are with what you have. Yeah, a big theme is generosity, giving back, giving yourself and others time, being really present, being very intentional, having integrity, and asking yourself what it means to be vulnerable. Vulnerability and integrity are two words that have been coming up on repeat for the season. So, what does that mean to you? Tune into the Patreon to get more insights and follow this whole journey through the month and see how it evolves. And that's all I got. That's all I got for us. I love you guys so much, and peace out.